Generative AI has radically compressed enterprise software deployment. We've literally eliminated historic technical constraints. But at the exact same time, we've exposed a fatal human flaw in organizational transformation.
Think about this for a second. By automating complex tasks, stuff like custom code mapping and test case generation, AI agents have shrunk technical ERP design cycles from 9 months down to a mere 2 months. We are looking at timelines cut by up to 80%. And that staggering data point right there establishes our core conflict.
Because if the software is ready in just a few weeks, why do enterprise transformations still fail? Well, this staggering technical velocity has created a profound socio-technical paradox. Rapid AI deployment is violently colliding with the frustratingly slow biological limits of human cognitive adaptation. Put simply, software scales instantly, human brains don't.
Let's do an analytical postmortem on legacy systems. To understand why this digital friction costs enterprises millions today, we have to dissect the architectural evolution of change management. The intellectual architecture of planned change evolved from Kurt Lewin's linear models way back in 1947 directly to the Tavistock Institute's revelation in the 1950s. Their big breakthrough? Technical systems and social dynamics require joint optimization. If you design technical systems without considering those social dynamics, you trigger defensive routines that absolutely guarantee immediate system abandonment.
By 1983, Enid Mumford tried to humanize system rollouts through her highly structured participative ethics framework. She positioned employee involvement as a fundamental democratic right. But critical theorists fiercely dismiss this as nothing more than a managerial illusion of power. They famously argued her method simply permitted the prisoner to determine the direction of the stripes on his prison uniform. That argument injected the first real structural tension into organizational change.
This brings us to the ERP friction era.
The 1990s saw isolated mainframes replaced by deeply integrated enterprise resource planning backbones, and the empirical data from this shift is brutal. 75% of these rollouts failed. And they didn't fail due to mechanical bugs, they failed because enforcing standardized cross-functional workflows destroyed ingrained human habits, and organizations just lacked the necessary change capacity and leadership support. In fact, over 38% exceeded their budgets strictly due to insufficient human staffing.
Organizations countered this immense friction by fusing John Cotter's top-down corporate urgency roadmap with Jeff Hyatt's bottom-up ADKAR model. The synthesis was a total game-changer, yielding a 6-fold increase in success rates. How? By diagnosing individual psychological milestones, like a user's actual desire and ability to change. It proved once and for all that top-down mandates alone cannot force user adoption.
Next up, let's look at cloud transformation and cognitive fatigue.
The transition in the 2010s to multi-tenant cloud SaaS architectures completely abandoned episodic upgrades in favor of overlapping monthly releases, and this inflicted severe cognitive trauma on the workforce. As planned enterprise-wide transformation surged from 2 per year to 11 per year, employees' willingness to support organizational change collapsed catastrophically. We're talking about a plummet from 74% down to just 41%.
This chronic change fatigue acts as a systemic toxin within a company. Uncoordinated digital rollouts drastically drop performance metrics by 5%, and they slash an employee's intent to stay to just 43%. This generates immense financial damage and human turnover. Think about it. 48% of fatigued employees are reporting they are entirely burned out.
So, how do we fix this? Here is the tactical action plan and system gates.
To actually survive the current architectural leap into AI-native environments, enterprises must start treating human adaptation as the ultimate governance gate. We see exactly how to do this in Jason Little's Lean Change Management Framework. It translates agile principles into a continuous, feedback-driven loop of gathering insights, exploring options, and introducing minimum viable changes. It intentionally abandons those old prescriptive playbooks so it can match our modern operational speed.
One major tool here is digital adoption platforms. They deliver massive productivity savings. We're talking an average of nearly $5 million monthly for large enterprises. They achieve this by providing real-time in-application GPS navigation that slashes user time to proficiency from weeks down to mere days. It completely bypasses those useless static PDF manuals.
However, even those platforms cannot solve organizational adoption within the new agentic ERP paradigm. Agentic ERP is a highly modular, API-driven architecture that creates headless systems. It entirely eliminates complex transaction forms in order to deploy AI squads that execute workflows autonomously and invisibly. And here's the reality check. You cannot put a GPS overlay on a screen that literally no longer exists.
So to prevent catastrophic algorithmic sprawl in this environment, organizations must rigorously deploy the Agent Development Lifecycle, or ADLC. This platform-native governance framework is absolutely crucial. It treats the rollout of AI agents as an active change management process, forcing those agents to inherit strict platform-level human permissions. That guarantees data boundaries, while centralized consoles track per-agent telemetry. Change management isn't a side project anymore, it is now platform-native.
Executive leadership must execute these tactical directives if they want to survive. First, realize that human cognition is now your primary pacing constraint. Budgets must be forcefully reallocated, specifically $3 in change management for every single dollar spent on AI tech. Next, mandating open source, two-way communication boosts your success rates to 58%. Furthermore, you need to upskill your workforce from transactional operators into strategic algorithmic supervisors. And finally, back them up by establishing a dedicated value mission control that uses advanced adoption analytics to mathematically secure your ROI.
Which leaves us with one final critical question. When AI can rewrite your entire enterprise architecture in a matter of days, will your human workforce survive the transition? Change management is no longer some HR afterthought. It is the definitive operational threshold. It will dictate whether your organization thrives in this agentic era or simply crumbles under its own digital velocity. Packaging blueprint for thumbnail and on-screen visuals. Thumbnail text hook, AI fixed software. Humans broke. Thumbnail visual concept. A minimalist, high-contrast cinematic layout with a dark background. The sharp focal element features a glowing, highly advanced AI server blade juxtaposed aggressively against a frayed, analog red wire and a dark, blurred human silhouette holding their head in frustration. No clickbait faces, strictly professional tension. Key graphic assets, B-roll/graphics direction. 1. Overlay 1 during slide 6. Generate a minimalist flowchart highlighting Mumford's 14-stage ethics cycle, pulsing red to indicate structural tension. 2. Overlay 2 during slide 15. An animated mathematical equation for DAP productivity savings, visually calculating the cost reduction. 3. Overlay 3 during slide 17. A high-tech system architecture diagram showing the Agent Development Lifecycle, ADLC, where an AI agent node successfully inherits and locks into a platform-level user permission box, preventing unauthorized data access.